Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? We are back. Chip and Chase podcast. We've been tossing around a little bit of a name change too. Ricky, is that on the forefront, or what are we thinking? We've talked about it a little
Yeah,
bit internally.
I think there's a couple of things up in the air at the moment. Not that we have a huge following, so it's not
Yeah,
like it really
yeah,
matters, but we're tossing around some name
yeah.
changes.
We might maybe by next pod we'll have something. Possibly a logo coming soon. We're still in the very we're not even at like pregnancy yet. We're like at like we're like barely conceived. So we're the sperm's still swimming its way
Oh yeah.
here for us. So we're buzzing through. But what a round one, eh? I've been battling off a cold. We're here during Boston, Florida. Boston's up 4-1, game one, kind of crazy. Florida went up. So we're already recording this after round two's kind of already kicked off. So round one, what a round of hockey, eh? What do you have to say? What are your kind of thoughts off the dome?
Uh, Honestly, the East was kind of a snooze
Kind of
fest.
soft, yeah, yeah. I agree with
Um,
that.
Islanders didn't put up much of a fight. That
Pathetic,
was a painful series to
yeah.
watch, even though I am a Jake Guentzel guy. Didn't watch a whole lot of Carolina Hurricanes hockey. Gotta be
No,
honest. Um, as far as the Rangers, they came out and did exactly what everyone knew was going to happen.
yeah.
They swept them in four, obviously. Um, Tampa out in five. Going to be interesting to see what happens with Stammer. I don't think he will leave, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll
Stranger
we'll
things have
get through
happened.
all of it. We'll go through. Let's start. Let's break down just every series, just kind of thoughts on it. One quick shout out too. We got to shout you out. You went 8-0 on your prediction in the first round. Not a big deal, eh? It's kind of like what we were talking about. I went 6-2. The only two I got wrong, I had Toronto in seven, and then I had Tampa in seven. Let's start on that part of the bracket. I mean, that's the part I got wrong. Tampa, Florida, hell of a series, but wow, did Florida bring it to Tampa in that? What that thing ended game five, correct?
Yes, it
Yeah,
ended in five.
which is just insane. I mean, I thought it would at least go six. Like I said, I had it going seven. I believe you had it. I believe you had seven games in that one too, didn't you?
I
Six or
don't recall.
seven.
My fiance threw my piece of paper away, but
You should have it off the top of your head. But yeah, breaking that down, I mean, the Tampa, I raved about their depth, and I thought that was kind of what was gonna carry them. Vasilevsky as well, and I remember I was watching game one or game two of that series, Rick, and I said I thought Vasilevsky was the guy. I forgot about this fucking psychopath in fucking Miami, Bob.
yeah,
What a
yeah.
he there. I think I could point to probably three or four saves he made in that series that probably turned it on its head. Obviously, they won game one in overtime. He made a ton of huge saves. Was it game one or game two? One of the two in overtime. He was a big part in that. And I mean, he even tonight against Boston just continues to show out. What do you think? I mean, they handled him pretty easily.
I think Tampa's run is over. Will they be good and make playoffs for the next couple of years? Sure.
Yeah, they still have the
Um,
pieces.
yeah, and I mean, you got to mention also Sergachev just coming back from being
Huge,
dead,
insane,
basically.
insane. Broken
Just
femur. It's not something you come back from. And what was it? 77 days since he got hurt to when he came
yeah,
back. That's
he broke
what
both bones in his leg,
he's definitely
in
on the
his shin.
gas to get back there, eh? Or what was going? What
He's
was in his water?
he's on something. I don't know what's in the water.
No drug testing in playoffs might have played a key part
Yeah,
in that,
for sure.
eh? That yeah, no, insane. Props to Sergachev for coming back. That's yeah, I mean that's huge. So I mean that series obviously kind of a bummer. I really wanted that one to go at least six, if not the distance I thought it was. Tampa, yeah, they just didn't have it. Florida, I think it's more credit on Florida though. That team looks poised like they want to go to another Stanley Cup this year. Eh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
They're and I unless Boston can play a hell of a lot better than they did in round one, I think they're poised to probably make another run again. I mean, they got two more tough opponents to potentially go through in the East.
Right. Well, I hate to
So we'll
step
see
on
what
you
happens
too.
there.
Boston is up 5-1, 3 minutes left. Just scored an empty netter, so maybe we're pumping Florida's tires. But you too, and we'll hop into this more when we kind of go through round two. You can see that with teams coming off an emotional 7-game series win. Florida's been sitting on their couch for the last week. We'll talk about this when it comes to Colorado Dallas. We're gonna have a lot to say about that series, eh? So we'll I mean that's just something something we'll talk about. I guess just swinging right over Boston Toronto. What another great series. I think we both had it going 7. I had it going 6. Or excuse me, you had it going 6. You had Boston in 6. I had Toronto in 7. I mean, what a series, eh?
I
It was a constant what is gonna hit the Twitter news today for Toronto. Every single game day, it was something different. The first few games,
yeah.
William Nylander, then it's Matthews, and then and then Samsonov's getting yanked, and then Joseph Woll's the savior, and then he's out in Game 7. This team, man.
Not to mention he gets hurt on a nothing goal with .1 seconds left in the third period.
That's what we think.
2-0
That's what we think. We're
game.
not for sure. That's what we think. So we're not going to spread the rumors that that's what did it. And I know they had their exit interviews today. I should have watched closer. I didn't see anything that Wool had to say about it. So yeah, not for sure exactly what the injury was. But
All I gotta say about Toronto, or just that whole series in general, it was if Boston blows another 3-1 lead, who's getting fired on that side?
Yeah.
And then on the flip side of things, Toronto, if they get bounced in the first round, who's getting fired? Who's getting traded on that side of things? So that series was like, who's getting fired? Who's getting traded? Who's going where? And what's going to happen here in the next couple of weeks after this series?
Right. Both teams had a lot to lose. I think bringing it to 7 might have saved Keefe's job, especially with he was without Nylander there for a while. Marner never really got going. John Tavares is just a waste of cap space. Matthews missed, the back half of that series aside from Game 7. So they were talking at the beginning of Game 5, and I thought it was kind of crazy. They're saying if they lose tonight, Keefe's probably out. And I remember thinking to myself, like, how can you say that? Like, how do you know? But I guess, the writing's kind of on the wall. This team's underperformed since that core four's been there. Only one series win in the last however many years. So yeah, I mean, they made it a lot, and truly that whole Game 7, even when they brought it to Game 7, I was like, there's no way this team loses at this point, right? You come roaring back, and then they score the first goal there in Game 7. I thought this is it. Boston responds, and then obviously that overtime winner by Pasta, we all saw. So
on an amazing back check from Mitchell Marner.
From Mitch Marner, Nylander was flat-footed in the slot. And everyone on Twitter, I was saying, everyone was saying, how is that Marner's job to chase that guy? Guys, have you ever watched or played hockey? It's the winger's job there to slow up the forecheck. You get taught that. I think the first time I was taught that was peewees or bantams. When that forechecker's coming in, you get in their way, you hold them up with your stick, you do something. You see it so much at the NHL level, especially when teams are playing tight hockey, and that was just a lazy play on Marner's part. And
not even at the NHL level, man. Any high level hockey,
exactly.
You're going to see something like that. And the fact that he didn't, obviously, you're not going to get an interference penalty, but stand in front of him, make him skate around you. And on Samsonov's part, he probably should have played that puck also.
Yeah.
At least batted into the corner.
Yeah.
But as far as Toronto's concerned, even at the beginning of the year, or in the off season, they bring in Domi, they bring in Bertuzzi, and I'm still looking at this roster, and I'm and watching them play. This team ain't built for the playoffs.
No, I agree.
Never has been.
Yeah, I agree. I like I said, when we recorded before the first round, I was like, I think they got through that first round last year. Kind of taught them what it took. But I realized too they were missing one big piece. I think they don't win that first round last year without Ryan O'Reilly. Remember him? So that leadership, that guy knows what it takes. So yeah, obviously no Ryan O'Reilly this year. I think was kind of what they were missing. They didn't, up the middle, especially with Matthews and Nylander missing some time. Didn't have a whole lot. Nyes stepped up. I thought Nyes kind of put his his print on that series as time went on, obviously with the OT winner and Game
He was
5.
arguably their best player.
I think I'd argue he was their best player. William Nylander, obviously, when he was in, had some big goals. You can't argue that. But I thought Nyes obviously carrying the load. Domi, there was a few games where I thought he had some jump. I thought Domi was a good signing. I thought he played well for him in playoffs. It's just, there's not enough pieces. Those wings. You got Yarncroc, which Holmberg. Connor Dewar really kind of let me down a little bit. I thought he was built more for playoffs. He was pretty invisible in that series. So, credit to.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you spend $45 million on 4 guys,
it's to be expected, right? Their depth just wasn't there, and it improved obviously over the length of 7 games. So credit to Boston. Obviously, that's huge. We would that would have been the first time a team in any professional sports league, NBA, MLB, or NHL, blew a 3-1 series 2 years in a row. So I was kind of hoping for that. Boston. I don't really care too much for Boston. They've had enough winning. With the Patriots and the Celtics and all that, they've had enough winning in that part of the region. So I'd probably cheer against Boston more than I should. But anyways, moving on, the next 2 series in the East, snooze fest. New York Rangers, Capitals. I thought it was going to 5, and in looking back at it, I was like, I'm stupid to think Washington could steal one, and I'm stupid to not think the Islanders could bore Carolina to death to steal one. I mixed those two up or flipped them around, and that's on me. New York, Washington. We don't really have to talk too much about this, do we? Washington.
Ovi with 0 points. I think he had 3 total shots on goal.
Non-factor.
And in the first game, he was the one that costed me one of my parlays. I took him over 5.5 shots.
It was 5.5 on your parlay?
It was a 5+. I could pick from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots. 5, eh? And I took over 5. Ovi's going to be shooting.
What are the odds on that? Like plus 1,000? You getting some good action on it?
I've been making some money in playoffs. Can't kid you.
Not with Ovi.
Can't kid you. Not with Ovi. But first time in his career.
Held shot. It was his 3rd playoff game ever held shotless. And then, the held pointless is insane.
Yeah, first playoff series in his career held pointless. And you know who wouldn't do that?
Yeah, we know you're on Sid's jock. We understand.
Sid, this guy right here.
We get it. Yeah.
Crosby.
But the thing is, you got to make it to the playoffs to prove it to us. And Sid didn't make it to the playoffs, so you could argue that argument's a little annulled. But I get it. Yeah, Ovi was bad. Washington was bad. I still wish we could have gotten to see Detroit in that spot. I think Detroit would have taken at least 1 or 2 off New York. I think it would have been way more exciting hockey too. Every time I turned on that series, I was just like, we know how this is ending. There wasn't a time where I was like, oh my God, is Washington maybe, And there was obviously a few minutes here and there, but there was never any time where I was seriously thinking.
I think I saw in the entire series the Capitals led for a total of 3.5 minutes.
Just Mickey Mouse stuff. They didn't belong in that series.
And
thank you, Torts, for getting
between. Who were the 3 teams kind of there in the
race? It was Philly, Detroit, and Washington were the 3. And Pittsburgh needed a lot to go right for them to get in. They could have, but obviously
I think Philly, Pittsburgh, or Detroit would have given us
any 3 of those teams. Washington was probably the 4th team I wanted to watch in that situation, 1,000% without a doubt. Obviously, Pittsburgh, given the rivalry there, it would have at least been some fireworks. Philly probably would have been below, right with Washington. For star factor, there's not a whole lot to watch on Philly, but Detroit or Pittsburgh probably would have been a way better matchup. But anyway, moving on, Carolina, New York, just a massive, Game 2, New York up 2 with, 6 minutes left or something like that, and they just give bing, bing, bong. You lose the game. You can't recover from that. At that point in that Game 2, I was like, wow, I might have really severely underestimated this New York Islanders team and their ability to just bore you to death, because I think in that game as well, Carolina had outshot attempt them. It was 117 to 28.
Yeah.
117 to 28. That's a might versus bantam game almost with those shot attempts. But obviously they sell out. They block a lot. Obviously they didn't end up with 118 shots on goal. So yeah, obviously, given that, and then yeah, that comeback, and obviously New York got one off in what was it, game four to force the game five.
Hmm.
Um, Barzell game winner in OT, but yeah, not a whole lot to talk about that series. Carolina, I think they are who we thought they were. Um, you got anything else on that one? I think there's still
I think I
another.
watched one game.
You didn't watch one game. I watched a little bit of.
I think I watched.
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah. I watched a little bit of multiple games. I don't think I sat through a full one. That's kind of how she goes. Anyways, moving on to the.
I think that was the first game of the playoffs this year, and I was.
It was, yeah. And you did watch that one because you were texting me about it. I was busy actually during that game. Yeah, the NHL really just wanted to put the shittiest possible matchup to get us going, eh? Moving on, West was a little bit better. Let's start with maybe you could call it the most boring of the four Western Conference series, and it wasn't even that boring. I think there were just times in the series where they lacked offense. It felt like both teams were playing not to lose, especially a lot in Game 5 and Game 6 for both of them. It felt like Vancouver taking that series obviously in 6 games. I thought for a second after Nashville took Game 5, they go back to Nashville. There's a chance they swing it. Game 7 in Vancouver, anything can happen. Obviously not the case. Vancouver scored the game winner with 1:39 left. Pius Suter. Yeah, I mean Dakota Joshua taking over Game 1, winning that Game 1 for him. Hell of an effort. Yeah,
3 points.
The game winner. Two goals, game winner, and then the empty netter to seal the deal. Yeah, I mean, it was like I said, it felt like then towards the end of the series there was a lot of play not to lose. I think that's kind of Tocchet's style, a little bit, I guess you could say. He'll lock things down if he feels like he has to, and it felt like they were doing a lot of that. So, but yeah, what else do you think about that series?
Yeah, game 6 was a tough one to watch.
Yeah.
It was up until the third period. It was really like make it take to take.
Yeah. There was nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
neither team could get through the neutral zone. Yeah.
Yeah, Vancouver looked really good the first couple of games. Game 3 and 4, I was a little nervous about them. It's going to be interesting what happens to see with Vancouver's goalies there.
Right. I didn't even mention that.
I don't know if you take Steve Obbs out of there at the moment.
I don't think so.
At least until he proves you otherwise.
Right.
It's going to be a tough match going up against Edmonton. But Steve Obbs out goalie. Sorry. That takes a lot.
Yeah.
And Smith for what it was worth.
And Smith had a shutout, didn't he? Or did he let in one in that game that they won?
I think he let in one.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a shutout. Now that I remember.
But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens also with Demko. I did hear down the grapevine that he does have not a fully torn ACL, but a tweaked ACL, if you will. I've been hearing he's probably out for round 2. If anything, like game 6, 7, but at that point, if you're making it to game 6 or 7 with Seabobs in that,
I don't think
that's your guy. Especially with JT coming out wearing his dress shirt at practice the other day.
The ugliest shirt in the world, by the way. Can we just cover that for a second? Just the hideous, how the hell he was let out of his closet with that thing on. I don't know if he has a girlfriend or a wife at home. She deserves as much of the credit for that atrocity as he does.
It's that Latvian
style, I guess. Yep. Obviously Demko, the big story. They win game 1, obviously pretty emotional fashion. All those fans were fired up. They haven't seen playoff hockey in a really long time. And then game 2, you're without your goalie, and they still won game 2, I believe, correct? But yeah, I mean, it was without Demko, there's a lot of what ifs. Then you have the Vancouver people posting the video, DeSmith lock in, it's just the cringiest thing ever. So yeah, I mean, I really didn't have a whole lot of faith in Vancouver after game 1 or after Demko was out, but Obviously, I got proved wrong, and they finished it out. Nashville, I wouldn't call a great team, but they made the playoffs, and
I mean,
you got to
after
be a good team
after the
to
fuck you tour, they've been good, but apparently not good enough to win in the playoffs. So
Right.
I mean, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. But
right,
I
exactly.
mean, props to Nashville. They went on a fucking tear at the end of the season there.
Yeah.
And all because of the canceled YouTube.
Canceled YouTube. Yeah, Nashville came out game 2, won that 4-1, and then obviously Vancouver going into Nashville and then winning both was insane. And that game 4 they won. They were down, what was it, 2-1 or 2-0. The missed empty netter by Colton Sissons, and then they come down Brock Besser.
The 3 goals in a row.
Yeah, insane. And yeah, I was surprised that Nashville could show up and win game 5 after that. A lot of teams would have just folded. So credit for them.
Yeah.
I don't know how you come back from that, but credit to them for doing that. So, so obviously there's that one. And then on the other side, or, the other Pacific matchup, LA Edmonton, another series. Wasn't much of a series, really. I mean, what do you think? It felt like it was over from the time we saw the bracket.
Yeah, I mean, LA's kryptonite seems to be 97 and 29.
Yeah.
Call it what it is. There's no winning for those guys against this team. The Oilers are looking good, and
they do look scary good.
And they also proved in this series was a game 4. Game 4, they're able to win 1-goal hockey games.
Yeah, they won the shutout in LA. Yeah, which I think that was the big question mark about them too, right? Like, this team will beat your ass in a track meet, but if you're gonna play a tight hockey game, if you're gonna lock things down, can they still beat you? And yeah, obviously they proved that. So. I echo your sentiment 100%. They look good. LA is just too slow, I feel like, to match up with them. Obviously Byfield, I felt like Byfield played pretty well. He was matched up against 29-97 a lot of that series. I thought he was right on. Obviously he's still young. He's still learning a lot. Those are two guys you don't want to be thrown in.
One other thing to mention.
Yeah.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Oh. Disgusting.
Rob Blake came out today or yesterday and said that we will not be buying him out. Okay, what the hell are you going to do with him?
Yeah.
If you're trying to build a championship caliber team, he should not be on.
Agree.
That's
my
2 cents, unless he is a third-line center. And at that point, I don't even know if I want him.
Yeah. I think that's kind of all they see in his value, but I think it's kind of a sunken cost fallacy now, where it's like they gave up so much to get him. If you cut ties with him out at this point, it's like, are you really gaining anything? So at this point, I think we'll at least see one more year of him. It makes perfect sense. I don't think a buyout really made sense. I think there's still some offensive upside there. They just got to get through to the kid. Like, you're here to win hockey games. You're playing a team game. This isn't about you. Like, do your job and we'll be okay. So, so I don't blame him for not buying him out right now. But yeah, I think possibly if you see another train wreck of a season from him next year, definitely keep an eye out for sure. So there's that one. Then let's move on. Let's move on to our teams. I guess you're a Colorado Avalanche fan right now. The hometown boys beating Winnipeg handily. I mean, Winnipeg won that first game. What was it, 7-6? Just an insane track meet. That's not a game you win a lot against that Colorado team. The fact that they did kind of surprised everybody, and I know it surprised me. And then it felt like they were just trying to play that the whole time. You're not going to score 6 goals on Colorado every night. You have a goaltender. I mean, it felt to me like that series, Winnipeg didn't make adjustments to try and slow Colorado down.
Correct. I mean, also, so I work in the hockey equipment industry.
Yeah.
So we have a TV in our shop, and game 1, We didn't get out of work until about 7:20 Mountain Time. And I'm like, fuck, like at this point, I might as well just go to the gas station quick, grab a 6-pack and come back. And that's exactly what I did. Me and my boss sat on the couch and watched game one up until the end of the second period.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was like 5-4.
Yeah.
And we mentioned it today at work. I think Gorgiev game one
4-3 after the second in that game, by the way. 4-3.
After game one, I think he went home back to the hotel that night, and he ate the whole humble pie all to himself, and he just had to be better.
Yeah.
I mean, call a spade at this point. Colorado should not lose when they score 6 goals.
Right.
That's what it is. There's not a team in the league that can keep up with scoring with Colorado if they are putting up 6 goals a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's maybe Edmonton.
Yeah, I'd argue Edmonton could. That's not a game you want to get.
But after game one, the flip switch, I imagine. I mean, obviously, we don't have our captain right now, which is, I think, in the long run, could be our Achilles heel. But obviously, Nate is kind of that acting captain right now, at least in the room and during games when Gabe is not on the ice. I think after game one, I think pregame skate, I don't know this for sure, obviously, but I'm sure he lit a fire underneath everyone's ass. Said, we are fucking better than this. This team, their regular season ain't shit. They have a Vezina winning goalie. Let's expose it. And that's exactly what the fuck they did the entire rest of the series. They won 4 straight against, let me repeat, the goalie who was going to win the Vezina Trophy.
No, it was, and he even said in his press conference, he didn't see half the goals go in. That's what I was talking about. They just didn't change the way they were playing. They weren't selling out blocking shots at the blue line. They weren't packing it tight to block shots in front of Hellebuyck. They weren't clearing guys out of the middle. Colorado had their way. I think I was watching game 5. I think Rantanen had 2 deflections in front on his own, just like back to back right there. Like cross seam plays to each other, like however they pleased. Winnipeg was running around. They didn't really. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, kind of what happened. Obviously, Colorado was playing their game, and Winnipeg never got to theirs. Obviously, that's not Winnipeg's game. They're not going to get into a track meet with Colorado. They're not going to win 7-6 every night. I mean, that was a series. Colorado played their game. Winnipeg could never slow it down or adjust, and Colorado just ran away with it. And there's no denying that. So,
and also on that note about Mikko Rantanen, we all saw the clip of him getting frustrated, and he took
snapping his twig,
broke it. He broke it over his fucking stomach.
Yeah,
that's a fucking sweet Finn. That's a Finn possessed right
That's
now.
a fucking
that is terrible news for the league. He scored 2 goals in game 5. So he's starting to score goals now.
Yeah, and I've told you this before. I think Colorado's very front-loaded with that team. I've told you this already before the Dallas series. Obviously, we'll get into the Dallas series here, Dallas-Colorado series in just a second. I think that team's very front-loaded. I know I'm gonna hate saying that because I'll probably eat my words in a week, but we'll see. But moving on to the last series, I got a lot to say about this one. I think it was the best series of the first round. I mean, 7 games, just all so close, so tight. Dallas, Vegas. Vegas going up 2-0 in Dallas's barn. I texted you, I snapped you. I was like, it's fucking over. I put $100 on Vegas to win it all. This Vegas team, watching those first 2 games, the way Dallas was trying to get to their game. We just talked about how Colorado got to their game very easily against Winnipeg. Winnipeg could never get to their game against Colorado. Dallas couldn't get to their game the first 2 games against Vegas. Vegas was clogging up the neutral zone. They're selling out, blocking a million shots in front of it was Thompson at that point in the series. I thought Dallas was dead to rights. Going to Vegas down 2-0, good night. Game 3, Dallas came out, just buzzing and absolutely ran their show. Probably should have had 10 goals that game, if we're being honest. They had, 4 or 5 breakaways. Sagan had 3 on his own. They just didn't bury anything against Thompson. It goes to OT, obviously, Wyatt Johnston. And can we talk about Wyatt Johnston for a second, too? This kid, 20 years old, can't even buy a drink at the bar after last night's big win, and just he's carrying the load for Dallas.
He's got a problem getting into any bars.
Yeah, the boys definitely take care of him. I obviously living with Paz. I'm sure Paz has got him under his wing, but
keeping him on a leash.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that series. The big things I want to talk about. Pavelski is just that poor guy. This is his last run. I think everyone wants to see him come back. This has got to be it. He's looks slow out there. He's turning pucks over. I hope he finds another game. Vegas isn't a good matchup for Joe Pavelski. He likes to play a little bit more slow, methodical, let me kind of run your show kind of game. Vegas doesn't allow that. They have the biggest decor in the league, really, as 6'3" guys everywhere, and adding Hannafin only added to that. Which also kind of tagging onto that thought, Nicholas Hague going out after game 1 and missing the rest of the series, I think was huge for Dallas. Obviously, he's so big to what they do on PK and so much more. So that Martinez obviously couldn't fill that void. But Pavelski, 0 points in the first round. Rupe Hintz, 1 goal, an empty netter in the first round. These are a couple of guys who are going to have to get going if they stand any chance against Colorado. I think they do. I think without further ado, I think we need to hop into that second round. I'm itching to talk about this series, Derek.
Hey, and on that note, I think we go right into Dallas.
Yeah. I think we kick it off with I'm so excited for this series. 2 really good hockey teams. I don't think there's going to be another second round series even close, and that's not even biased. I think just looking on face value matchups, just kind of the star power, Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen going up against, a pesky, veteran studded Duchesne and Jamie Benn and Tyler Sagan. I'm excited. You give us your thoughts, Derek. Let's hear your thoughts on it.
All right, so I want to touch on 2 things you just said that's going to be a big thing for round 2. Pavelski and Rupe Hintz. You just said Pavelski is not looking good out there.
Yeah.
If he does not look good in this series, it's going to be over faster than you probably want.
I don't know though, Derek. I want to argue that they just beat Vegas, the defending champs, with more firepower without Pavelski and Rupe Hintz contributing. That should scare you.
No, it doesn't scare me at all. People are coming into work and they're, not necessarily big Avalanche fans. They're like, oh man, I'm kind of worried. Like either of these teams, I don't think I'm going to beat them. I don't care which team we get.
Yeah, I thought the same. I don't think Colorado matches up well against either.
Now, Colorado's got so much speed. You guys are built big, and you guys are deep. You say you don't know about our depth. Miles Wood looked so good in round 1. He's on a line with Cogs and
Colton, isn't it? Ross Colton?
Who?
Colton?
Yes, Ross Colton and Cogs. That line looked great. Fourth line didn't get a...
But who's Winnipeg's third line are they matching up against? Kenny, you couldn't name 2/3 of the line they're matching up against on Winnipeg, can you?
Appleton, Ehlers, and...
Ehlers was up in the top 6. Ehlers was playing with Scheifele a lot of this series.
He shouldn't have been.
Well, I agree with that. I agree fully with that.
Colorado just beat a Vezina, the guy who's going to win the Vezina Trophy. You guys got fucking Otter, whoop-de-fucking-do. We got Nathan McKinnon. We got Mikko Rantanen. We got Kale fucking McCarr. We got Devon Taves. Dude, I don't care how deep you guys are. Our guys are gonna run right fucking through you, and we're gonna get Jonathan Drouin back. I heard at the earliest mid second round.
Yeah.
So you got that to fucking worry about too. He looked.
I'm not worried about
at the beginning of the
Jonathan Drouin.
year.
I'll be honest.
He did not look great at the beginning of the year, but towards the end of the year, I looked at his EP page the other day. The last 10 regular season games, I think he had 13 or 14 points. He's finally started to gel again with Nate. Throw him on the line, dude. It's gonna be a fucking great series, and I'm gonna be on your ass even more than I was all first round. I was cheering against Dallas just because I'm tired of listening to you say Dallas stop over and over and over and over. I can't fucking stand that goal chant. I think it's almost just as bad.
It's
as
in your head rep free, eh?
It's fucking bad. I got fucking Colorado in 6 games, man.
6 games, okay. No, I understand the speed Colorado brings. Obviously, I think that can't be questioned at all. But Dallas locks up the neutral zone. Vegas didn't generate anything through the neutral zone on Dallas that whole series, and that was kind of the story of the series. Was whatever team was locking up the neutral zone, obviously getting chances, creating turnovers, getting chances going the other way, was winning. With that said, like I said, Colorado's a top-heavy team. Joe Pavelski, Rupe Hintz, 1 point in 7 games, combined 1 point in 7 games, and that's Dallas's first line. And they beat the defending Cup champs with the addition of Hanifin, who had 2 GWGs. Hang on. Hanifin, 2 GWGs. Stone, Mantha, who was a nobody in scraps the last 4 games of the series. And that, did I say Stone? I meant Hurdle. They beat a very good Vegas team. I knew that whole series. I hated the fact that Dallas got matched up against Vegas because those were the 2 best teams in the West. I'll stand on that till the day I die. If Vegas gets matched up against anybody else in the West, they're on to the second round. That team was that good. They're the real deal. I saw them in person, 7 rows off the ice. Let's hear it.
Okay, we can bitch all we want about LTIR. Did Mark Stone look healthy to you?
No. He still made plays. He still had a couple really big goals in the series.
Yes. Thomas Hurdle, big trade line addition. He was dog shit.
Nah, I just think he was a little bit slow. I don't think he was playing fast enough with Eichel and I wouldn't call him dog shit. I thought he made a lot of plays. I think he played really well as the series went on with Eichel and Marchessault. I think he played really well as the series went on. Yesterday Marchessault and Eichel had 2 chances that they normally bury every single time. And Hurdle was kind of at the forefront of helping out generate those chances. Towards the end of the game, he was getting bodied out by Esa Lindell in the 6-on-5. Like, you could argue, like, holy shit, like, that's kind of embarrassing. But
other than that, like, trade deadline edition,
Hanifin had 2 game-winning goals and multiple assists.
Hanifin looked really good. He looked great. He's playing awesome.
He was probably their best player. Aside from
Eichel,
Hanifin was their best player.
Other than that, their other fucking trade deadline edition played 1 fucking game. Anthony Mantha.
No, he played the first 3, I think. First 3.
Okay. He wasn't playing game 7. That's all was fucking.
No, yeah. No, he was a non-factor. Anthony Mantha was a non-factor. He's definitely out. But Amadio came in his spot, and I thought Amadio was probably behind Hanifin and Eichel, probably their next best player. I mean, he was the one who set up the goal to Howden yesterday to make it 1-1.
I don't think that Vegas team, obviously, they lost in 7 games. They went up early 2-0. I don't think, obviously, they were banged up throughout the whole year. I don't think they were nearly 100% healthy.
Dallas isn't 100% healthy. We were missing Mason Marchment the whole series. We were missing Radek Faksa half the series. He obviously had the game-winning goal yesterday. And no team's healthy this time of year. I think that's a bullshit excuse. Any team that tries to use that excuse, we weren't healthy. And that's what Cassidy was going into on his post-game presser yesterday. Bullshit excuse. Everybody's banged up. Dallas has guys not taking the options almost every day because they're banged up. Bullshit excuse. I'm not going to hear it. Not going to hear it for a second. Right. Colorado, we can even go to Colorado. Definitely has guys banged up. You think they're playing 100% healthy? There's not one team.
On Colorado?
It's in May of the Stanley Cup playoffs. There's not one team that's playing healthy, like fully healthy. So
right. I mean, I'm sure there's guys on Colorado that got bumps and bruises, but no one's going through anything somewhat major.
You don't know that. You don't know that. There could be
Other
guys
than
putting off
Jonathan
surgeries.
Gruen.
Yeah, who knows? Anyways, to finish my thoughts, this Dallas team is I didn't text you this during, I think it was game 5. Actually, yeah, it was game 5. I didn't text you this, but the feeling I had about Colorado, I was living in Colorado obviously in 2022 when they won the Cup. The feeling I had about that team watching them in round 1 and round 2, I had watching this Stars team. I didn't have that feeling last year with this Stars team. I thought they were a good team. I just knew they were missing a few pieces, especially on the blue line. Chris Tanev, I mean, that +6 in the first round. He was matched up against their top 6 the whole series. Didn't have one goal against when he was out there against those top 6 guys for Vegas. That's what they were missing, really, and I think that's the piece. They have so much depth, Derek. They come at you in waves. When you think you got a break, here comes the fourth line, and they're just going to pour it on for a little while. Colorado doesn't have that. Dallas feels perfectly comfortable. They'll match up their fourth line against McKinnon's line all night long if DeBoer feels like that fourth line's running.
Do it.
They will, and they can, and they will. And Smith can skate with McKinnon. Right. There's plenty of guys to slow him down. Like I said, I think this Dallas team is as good as they come. The only issue they're going to have is if they get – No. I'm not that stupid. If they get tired towards the end of the series, that's the only issue they'll have. Obviously, we saw Boston tonight rolled over Florida. Colorado's been sitting for a week. I think Dallas wins game 1 tomorrow. I think they win both at home. Game 1 and 2, I'm going to be honest with you. And I think Dallas – I think Dallas wins it in 6. 6, maybe 7. Like I said, if they wear down towards the end of the series, like I said, this team just comes at you in waves. And there was even talk this morning. Pete DeBoer said Hakanpää will probably be back in the middle of this series. That's big size on that back end. And then Marchman's probably going to be back here in a few days to get that chem back with Sagan and Duchesne, get those two going. But I think enough's been said about that series. I'm excited. It's going to be such a fun series. It's going to be such good hockey. And I think Colorado fans are going to be really sad when they realize they're not playing the Winnipeg Jets anymore. You're not going to be able to run around and have at will. This Dallas team is disciplined. They play hard, they play fast, and they play physical. They're not gonna give you any air to breathe out there. Vegas didn't breathe for 7 straight games. They're on the golf course today. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to warn you. Everyone seems to overlook them, and I'm fine with that. Actually, keep overlooking the Dallas Stars.
I'm not by no means am I overlooking the Dallas Stars. They're a good hockey team. I would argue they're one of the deepest hockey teams in the league, if not. Oh,
they're the deepest. Yeah.
But no one takes over hockey games quite like number 29 in Colorado.
Yeah, shut him down. Shut him down, and you win the game easy.
He can't be shut down.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
Hey,
and there was actually, I saw a stat a few weeks ago. He played, I believe, in games against playoff teams. His points per game, he was less than a point per game. In his games against non-playoff teams, he was like 1.5 or 1.75 points per game. As well, his points per game on the road compared to at home, he's not the same player. Like I said, we'll see. I'm excited. I think if Dallas shuts him in 96 down, I think it'll be a quick series, actually.
Two quick questions. One, what is the elevation in Dallas?
Like 500 feet.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
We'll see. Yeah, that'll be a fun home series here.
We have home ice advantage. What are you talking about?
I'm saying that'll be fun when you guys get here.
Every team goes in there. They went in there the day of, or a few weeks ago. You were in attendance, and they wiped them 7-4. They flew into Denver the day of and wiped them.
It's a different season right
now. Oh, God. That was Dallas playing for the number 1 seed. Imagine them now playing for Lord Stanley. I mean, I'm excited. I'm really excited. Anyways, what was your next question? What was your follow-up?
Okay. Our friendship might end in the next couple of weeks. We'll see.
No, we're not ending our friendship over hockey.
Second question. You were living here in 2022 when they won the Cup. Why the fuck did you not come with me to the parade? That was so much fun.
COVID. Yeah, I was down with the vid. I was sicker than a fucking, you know what. Or I would have been there. I would have been there. Never bought any Avs gear though because I knew they weren't my team from the onset. I knew they weren't.
Yeah, okay.
I knew they weren't the team
Okay.
for me. Anyways, let's move on. Second series in the West, Vancouver Edmonton. I think a lot of people are overlooking Vancouver, and I think a lot of people are overlooking them because we're looking at how Winnipeg just wiped the floor with Colorado in the regular season and then got their asses wiped in the postseason. What do you think on this series?
I think it's hard to say the series is going to solely rely on one person. But if Pedersen doesn't get going, this could be a really quick series. If he doesn't get going, we're gonna need a lot out of JT Miller. We're gonna need a lot out of Brock Besser, and we're gonna need a lot out of that third and fourth line. Mainly.
Oh, you're saying you're a Nucks fan too, eh? I forgot about that. Nucks fan too.
I'm a team whatever. I'm a fan of whatever team Coach Josh. We're gonna need a lot more out of bottom six. Top six has been doing an okay
Hang on,
job.
Can I pause you for a second? You think more out of Besser? I thought Besser carried him at times, and obviously they don't win game. What was it, 4 in Nashville without Besser either?
Okay. That was poorly phrased. So we're gonna need Brock to keep doing his thing. He's gonna need us to keep scoring goals. JT probably need a little bit more out of Quinn Hughes. Yeah. He looks fucking banged up right now. He looks like he's in rough shape. Hopefully, 2-3 days rest can be beneficial for him. But I think this series solely relies on Vancouver's bottom six outscoring Edmonton's bottom six, which I will admit is not an incredibly tough thing to do.
No, not at all.
I think the X factor, if you will, in this series, and I'm not trying to be a homer, is going to be number 81, Dakota Josh. He's going to have to, not necessarily a point per game, but if this goes 6 or 7 games, if he can have 4 or 5 points, that could be enough to get him over the hump. It's just 97-29 going against Sea Logs makes me a little nervous.
Yep.
Even if they throw DeSmith in there, that still makes me a little nervous. DeSmith has been with the Pittsburgh Penguins practicing, before this year, practicing with arguably what was the best double-headed monster in the National Hockey League for almost 15 years straight. No, he wasn't there for 15 years, but he was there for the last couple.
Yeah.
But, he's been practicing against the best in the world when he was in Pittsburgh. Maybe that gets him ready for this. I can't speak to that. But you can't pull Sneelovs out right now. He's been buzzing. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I could be completely wrong, and Edmonton could just fucking wipe the floor with Vancouver. Right. I want to say Vancouver in 7. Solely so if my bracket ends up being 100% again, which Colin, the odds are in my favor of that, so just keep in mind. I selfishly want Vancouver to come to Denver, just so I can see my guy. But the heart's telling me Edmonton in 6.
Edmonton in 6, eh? That's what you're going with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I echo a lot of what you're saying. I think even for Dakota Joshua, 81, I don't even think he needs to put a lot of points up on the score sheet every night. I think if he's contributing with the body, I think if he's doing his job on the PK, that power play in Edmonton is, me and you could be playing the point where Bouchard's at and have, what does he have, 9 points in the playoffs right now? Me or you could, and we might get dragged for this, but come on. Is there anyone more benefiting from a power play than Evan Bouchard? I don't think so. Obviously, he has a bomb of a slap shot. That's impossible to argue. There's no arguing that. I think he obviously carries enough offense, but I think if 81 can be contributing, putting hits on, because I think it's going to be a greasy, tough, gritty series. I think Edmonton is stronger and grittier than Vancouver. Obviously, aside from really other than Jodak, you have Zadorov who will he'll pull guys into it with him a lot. I really like his game. He's a playoff performer. Maybe Tyler Myers a little bit. JT Miller will mix it up here and there.
Don't underestimate that guy. He's been playing
Yeah.
very well this
No, I agree. So I think if enough guys get drug into the fight, I think kind of take Edmonton off their game a little bit. I think get Evander in his head, maybe draw a 2-game suspi out of Evander Kane, throw them off a little bit. I think it's going to be a weird and wacky series. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward Edmonton as people think, just like you said. I do think Vancouver does match up weirdly well against Edmonton in the regular season. I thought how are these guys going to slow up 29 and 97? They did it consistently in the regular season. I think special teams are gonna be huge. You cannot take penalties against the Edmonton Oilers. You just can't. I don't care if you have Jesus himself on the PK. It's tough. It's really tough to fend off that power play and keep them quiet. I think they were running like a 35 or 40% clip in the first round on power play. So, with that said, though, Edmonton just feels like they're running. Like I said, Vancouver's going to have to get dirty with them, I think, to make a difference. I have Edmonton in 6, winning on home ice in Game 6. I think they'll steal one of the first 2 in Vancouver. I think they might even win tomorrow night. And then from there, obviously, just defend home ice and they win it in 6. So yeah, that's what I got in that series, which would lead us into the East. Let's start with the series that's already started. New York, Carolina.
They both already started.
Oh, they did. Yeah, you're right. I'm an idiot. The one that started yesterday, I should say, before round 1 was even done. New York, Carolina. I admittedly did not watch a lot of this game. I was too nervous for the Stars Game 7, so I didn't watch a ton. I did watch a little bit. But what do you think on the series?
I got kind of mixed emotions on this. You know, obviously Jake is my guy. I'd love to see him move on. But am I crazy for saying it? I feel like there's just something special brewing in New York right now.
You're not crazy for thinking that.
They aren't the Fugazis anymore. That's for sure. They look really good. Admittedly, I haven't watched a ton of New York's games because they were playing Washington in the first round. Yeah. So I had no business watching those games. It was fucking boring. Dominian's going to keep doing his thing. Panarin's going to keep doing his thing. Adam Fox is going to keep doing his thing. And they got fucking Chesney, tending the net. He's going to keep doing his thing. I don't have a whole lot of like analysis or anything on this series. Freddie Anderson looked amazing in round 1.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to play even better than he did in round 1 if Carolina wants to have a chicken dicks chance,
which he kind of let in that squeaker to Panarin yesterday, which turned into the GWG. So
yeah,
a great start.
I would love to see Carolina move on. At the same time, I don't want to see Jake Gensel win anything outside of wearing a Pittsburgh Penguins jersey. I think I like this. I think this one's going to go the distance. I like the Rangers in 7.
Yeah, I love that pick. I don't know. Carolina is that team that they're so good in the regular season, but then they get to the postseason and there's just something not there. I don't know what it is. There's just something missing for me. I don't know if it's just like a superstar taking over games. Their depth is okay. I mean, they got a bunch of guys, really nothing more than guys. They got guys. Their decor, I like. Tony DeAngelo had a great game yesterday. Pretty soft penalty call on him there in that one yesterday as well. I mean, he's been playing well. Brent Burns, obviously, you know what you're going to get. Slavin, I like that back end. I think this series comes down to goaltending, though. Like we talked about, Freddie had a great series 1. We talked about actually in our round 1, like our pod before round 1, about how we thought it was going to be Kochetkov. when Freddie had been playing. That shows how much we pay attention to Carolina, you saw. Anyways, so obviously Freddie was doing his thing there in round one. I think he might have stolen a game even against the Islanders there. So that's what it kind of comes to. And I mean, New York Ranger was my cup pick at the beginning of this, and watching them, they haven't lost a game yet. They're 5-0. They look like they just can't miss a beat. It's going to come down to when they start facing some adversity, because it's the NHL playoffs. You're going to have some lows. The fact they haven't faced any yet kind of leads me to believe that could be a little scary coming down the stretch. Really no team in the East, I guess, aside from Boston's faced any real lows. But, so I guess that's even a tough argument. I'm with you. I have the Rangers. I wanted to say in 6. I think Carolina just plays well enough though that they can bring it to 7. Actually, no, I'm gonna go to 7. I'm gonna stick in 7 with you. I think it does go to the distance. I think Carolina can play well enough to stick with them, and I think Aho and Teravainen and Gensler are gonna have to be huge though for it to go to 7 games. I think those guys are gonna have to take over at least 1 or 2 games for them to stand a chance. So, and then
and Seth Jarvis.
Jarvis plays well. I mean, he kind of carries his load all the time anyways. I think you kind of know what you're getting out of him on a nightly basis. He's not, I wouldn't say he's expected to score on a nightly basis, and he shows up on the score sheet quite a bit. Those big guys, though, in the playoffs, you need them to be big guys, and especially in Carolina's case, those 3 that I named, Gensel, Aho, and Teravainen, you need them to be your big guns.
Even
Svechnikov, yeah, you can't expect Jarvis to be carrying the load against this New York Rangers team, especially when they have Roslovic playing so well. Lafreniere is chipping in. They have a lot of pieces.
Back on the Rangers,
Trocheck's been really good.
No, what's his face? Fucking came over from the Jets.
Roslovic.
He's part of the Line A deal.
Roslovic, yeah.
Roslovic. Yeah. He's been fucking great. He worked his way all the way up to playing first line league. Yeah. Like I said, when they're getting guys chipping in like that, that's going to be a tough team to beat, man. That Roslovic kid's been playing well, so I think New York takes that one though in the end. And then without further ado, the only series I had wrong, I had this being Toronto Tampa. Obviously, you had it correct with Boston Florida. Game 1 already down. Boston up 1-0 in the series. Bruins were actually 4-0 in the regular season against Florida too. Fun little stat. Call me stat guy. So they're 5-0 now against them on the year. What do you think with that one? What's the saying when one team gets like a gentleman's sweep for 4 or 5 games and they're done, and the other team plays 7, like rest versus what is it, best?
Yeah. I don't know if I know what saying you're getting to, but
I don't know. Rest versus tested, I guess. Could be
rest versus test. Yeah, I don't know.
Rested versus tested. There
you
go.
Okay.
I think I wish we would have done this yesterday before any of the games started.
I know.
But after watching Boston tonight, man, I'm trying to not have that
get too excited,
too much influence in my decisions here. But like, in order for Boston to continue to win against a team that's a hell of a lot better than the Toronto Maple Leafs, Pasternak is going to have to be better, just like Montgomery said the other night. I need more out of Pasta. Marchand's going to do his thing. He's been doing it for fucking damn near, probably 15 fucking years at this point. You know what you're going to get out of the big guys. And we got a former Sioux Falls Stampeder in net there, Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah.
I don't see Monty pulling Swayman from here on out. He's clear and cut the number 1 there in Boston, which is interesting because last year I thought it would have been Swayman getting traded versus Ulmer.
Right. Yeah.
But Florida's got some gamers on their team, man. Don't get me wrong. But like you say, I mean, there is something to be said about finishing a series up in 5 games, and not that they're just literally sitting around on their fucking couches. They're getting out there and skating,
Right.
maybe like light workouts, whatever. So they're still being active. But game 1 tonight, Florida did not look good.
Yeah.
They looked okay in the first period. But
scored the first one too. Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah. I don't know. Something is telling me to really pick Boston here. I know I liked Florida a lot in our early predictions, but I think Boston, their bottom six is gonna have to be better. Especially, he's not necessarily even in their bottom six, but Charlie Coyle's got to be better.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go back. I'm probably gonna go Florida in this. I think they go 7 games again.
Okay.
I got Florida in 7.
Yeah.
I like Kachuk too much. I like Bob.
Yeah.
I think New York, or I think Florida wants it again. They want to get back there. I think they may be able to do it if they can take off New York. But they want it and they're driven, and
yeah,
you can't bet against the elbow room.
Yeah. No. I thought this was gonna be the first one we were gonna disagree on here, but I think I'm probably on Florida's side too. Also, Brandon Carlo, birth of his son this morning, gets in there. I think they said he got to the stadium around 6 p.m. Obviously, probably barely in time for pregame stretches and getting out there. Scores a goal tonight. That's gonna be that's so awesome. That'll be a story he tells his kid forever, without a doubt. So it's such a cool story. Like you said, you can't let tonight influence you too much. Boston was coming off a very emotional series win, obviously, Game 7 just 2 nights ago. The same thing I think is going to happen to the Dallas Stars tomorrow night. You come off a big series win. The other team hasn't been in playoff action for a week now. So it's going to take Florida a few games to get their legs back in this series. Obviously, you hope as a Florida fan they got them back tonight as it went on. Obviously, they lost 5-1 there in the end. I really like Florida coming into this series. I don't think Boston is that great, but I think if like you said, Coyle's chipping in, if DeBrusk's chipping in, if they're getting some from that fourth line, that Brazeau guy, he was huge in that series against Toronto. I love Boston's decor. I really always have. Florida, though, they're so deep in their own right as well. Swaggy Verhage is, he's going to show up every night. He loves his playoffs. I love Florida's D, Montour, Ekblad, Forsling. It's Florida's down 1-0 in this series, but I still have them winning it in 6. I think they win 4 of the next 5 here against Boston. I really am second guessing that because I think there is a chance Boston could win this series. I think of any series that I picked, I feel the worst about picking Florida now after seeing how tonight went. If Jeremy Swayman is playing the way he did in that round 1 and in the way he played tonight, Boston's going to be a tough team to beat, Derek. They're going to be a tough out.
Hey, man. Hey. I don't know what's in the water in Sioux Falls.
He's played very well. So they're going to be a tough team to beat. I thought it was just like he had the hate for Toronto. They passed up. He was picked 1 pick after Toronto. He had a bunch of pre-draft meetings with Toronto. They picked Ian Scott, who's played 10 games for Toronto and over Swayman. So I thought that was kind of like a vendetta thing in round 1. That's why he was playing. But he just picked up right where he left off tonight. He was just as good, if not better, than he was in round 1. So, yeah, that's the only thing kind of making me really question if Florida is going to do this, especially Bob needs to play like he did in the first round. He can't play, the way he did tonight. I'm going to switch this one. No, I'm sticking Florida in 6. Florida in 6. I really want to pick Boston. You have no clue how badly I want to pick Boston, especially just because
a part of me wanted to also. It's just some love for former man who spent 7 months in my hometown.
Right. Right.
At the old snake pit. But
Yeah. Yeah.
that'll be a series.
I feel like
that
it
might be
wears
the
off
other
a little bit
series that
for
I'm
him.
tuned into.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think behind the Colorado Dallas series, I think that I mean they're all really good series. These are all going to be really fun series. The second round, I think is the best round of playoffs. The first round, you have some mismatches. You have the 4 games every night, which can't be beaten. But second round, you have the 2 games, so you can pay attention to both games every night. You have your Eastern and your Western games, so you can watch both. Be just keyed in and seeing everything. So I love round 2. So yeah, aside from that Colorado Dallas series, we have everything the same. Should we place a little friendly wager for Colorado Dallas? Loser has to.
I've been cooking one up.
Well, let's hear it.
If Colorado wins, you buy a Avalanche hat and wear it the entire bachelor party trip.
Okay.
For the 7 people that are listening to this, Colin is coming along with me on my bachelor party trip to Destin, Florida.
Be like a week after this series is wrapped up. Probably a week or 2 after the series is wrapped up. Yeah.
You wear an Avalanche hat the whole vacation.
All right.
Bachelor party.
Deal. And if Dallas wins, you wear a Stars hat?
I can't wear it for the whole trip.
What do you mean?
It's my bachelor party, motherfucker. I will buy a Dallas Stars hat and vocally cheer for them the rest of the playoffs.
No, that's not good enough. I don't agree to this.
Why not?
You can wear a Stars hat the whole trip. Maybe like during the days, maybe not going out at night. During the days, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., you have to be wearing a Stars hat. And I'll wager mine. I'm wearing an Avs hat the whole time.
Make it 9 to 4.
Why?
Okay, 9 to 5 unless I'm out on the boat. Then I'm wearing a bucket hat.
No deal. No deal.
All right,
no deal.
Fine. 5 o'clock, that thing's coming off.
Yeah, that's fair.
You'd rather have me wear a Stars hat for 4 days than vocally cheer for them the rest of the playoffs.
I don't want you on the Stars side. We don't need any more bandwagons on the Stars side. Our wagon's full after that Vegas series. All of America was rooting for the Stars.
Oh my Lord.
Nobody wanted to see Vegas move on. No, yeah, I'll buy and bring a hat for you. You don't even have to buy it.
All right, there we go.
And since you're not wearing it at night, one day you have to wear like a Stars shirt as well. One day, like during the day.
During the day, sure.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I can't wear a shirt during the day. It's only the button up Hawaiian.
But I'll get you a button up Stars shirt.
Okay.
Deal? Or you could pick either one day or wear one out one night. Wear a Stars shirt out one night.
Shirt or hat?
Either. I'll let you pick.
All right, deal.
So 9 to 5. So let's lock these terms in here. I dropped my pen. 9 to 5. Every day Stars hat. And then one night. And then for me, Avs hat just the whole time.
The whole time.
Oh. I feel like I'm getting the way short end of this stick.
Hey, it's my bachelor party, man. Fuck you.
And I better be getting some fucking drinks bought for me wearing this fucker the whole time. Avs hat whole time. Well, at least I won't have to pack hats if this is how it goes. I'm not worried though. I'm truly not. I'm excited to see you in Victory Green here, baby. Excited to see you in Victory Green for a few days. Avs hat whole time. Fuck. Whole time I'm wearing a bucket, right? I don't have to wear it like the whole time. Some nights you don't wear a hat out, like going to a nice dinner.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing
no, but then you can't be like, I'm not wearing hats every day.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, I'll wear. You know how much I wear hats. I wear hats pretty often. So anytime I wear a hat, it'll be an Avs hat. You gotta buy it though. You gotta bring it for me. I'm not spending my money on it.
That was the conditions.
Oh, then you're buying the Stars hat.
All right.
Deal?
Okay, fine. I'll buy you.
That's whoever wins can buy the hat for the other person. I think that's fair.
Okay.
I think that's fair. All right.
You have to buy me a hat, though. I'm not wearing one of your dingy ass hats.
No. I'll buy you one. I'll buy you your very own,
No.
buddy. Your very own Dallas Stars hat. You'll be able to keep it forever. That's gonna be your most prized possession.
I don't know about
All
that.
right, we're locked in, dude. Let's go. All right, deal. Shake the hand. All right, locked in. This was fun. We'll record one after this round. The game 7 I saw. Game 7s will wrap up on 5/20, I believe. So 2 weeks from tonight. So we'll have another pod for the conference finals probably right around 2 weeks from today. We'll talk about, obviously this round and then the next round. And then who knows, when we're on the batch trip, we might record a live one, maybe a live stream or something, just us shooting the shit, talking puck, watching a game. Maybe we could do hockey night in Destin.
Maybe we just get all the boys in one night for just a shooting the shit, talking a little bit of hockey type of thing.
Watching a game, yeah. I think that'll have to be something we put together. Because obviously it'll either be the Stars or the Avs playing, so we'll have to plan one night around watching the game. You guys are going to be so rattled if it's going to be the Stars. You guys are just not going to have it. So we'll see if it actually happens.
Make sure you bring some blue and maroon, baby.
We'll see. I'm excited. I'm super pumped up. It's going to be such a fun series. I woke up today. I was like, I'm carrying the weight of having to eliminate the fucking cheaters for the last 2 weeks, and now I just feel like I'm a brand new human being, and now there's no pressure.
That's what the cold was from.
What?
That's what the cold was from, huh?
It could have been stress from eliminating the champs. I took it on myself. Yeah, it's weird. I started getting better really like right after game 7 was over. That's like really where I turned the corner. No, I'm kidding. I'm still battling. I'm going to go pass out right now. I'm fighting it. But we'll have this pod up for anybody watching 5/7 in the AM. It'll be up, so tomorrow morning. And then tonight, so if you're watching tonight, Avs Stars, and then we get game 2 of that Rangers Canes series. So any parting thoughts, Rick? What do you think?
Avs in 6, baby. Watch out 29, watch out 96.
Stars probably in 5 or 6 if they shut down 29 and 96. It'll go 6 or 7 if McKinnon and Rantanen have anything to say about it, which they probably will, but we don't need to go into that. So, all right, brother.
Are you slightly worried at all?
I'm really not. Like I said, I thought Vegas was the best team in the playoffs aside from us. New York too, but they're on the other side, so I don't have to worry about them for 3-4 more weeks. Like I said, I just don't think Colorado's deep enough, and I don't think I just don't think they can match up on all 4 lines with Dallas. I think Colorado owns the top line. Like obviously 29, 96 and whoever's on the wing is better than whoever Dallas's top line is, matching up against them, which we'll see tomorrow night. It'll probably be.
I didn't even mention Val Nishnushkin, former fucking Dallas Star. He's gonna fuck you guys up.
I don't know. He didn't even know English when he lived here, and there are a lot of women in Dallas that can get him into a lot of trouble. I'm sure he still has some contacts. So, I mean, I have a pretty good idea of where they're staying. I might be calling a few over. Probably, actually, it's 11 o'clock. I might get on the horn right now and send a few over to the Ritz in Uptown and get him.
Nate's got that man under lock.
I don't know. He's a grown man. We'll get him something going here tonight. Maybe get someone on the horn. But maybe the lady sitting behind the bench last night at the Stars game, she might need something to do.
I did hear she's an OnlyFans girl.
Yeah, I mean, what else would her profession be after that? And I don't think that was a doubt from anybody. So
it's funny you say you have no worries or concerns going into this series.
I feel like you're a little worried. You're pretty stressed out.
I've been saying the same thing all week. I said I don't care if we're playing the Stars or the Knights. I don't give a shit. Avs in 6, either way.
We'll see. We'll be having plenty of friendly banner here going forward. The Dallas Stars Skull song is going to be stuck in your head every night. When you're going to sleep tomorrow night, you're going to be having nightmares about Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars. I think we need our parting song on our pod tonight will be a little Pantera, a little Dallas Stars Ghoul song. Eh? What do you think about that, Derek?
No, I'll get off this call.
All right, fine. Anyways, yeah, it's gonna be a fun round two. Like I said, I think I like round two more than round one most years. So, yeah.
I think after round two, you'll be canceling out of the bachelor party, wanting your money back. You'll hate me so much.
Yeah, I probably will, because you're just in my grill about everything. Can't even watch a game in peace. So we'll see. Okay. We'll see how it goes. But I'll be in your ear too when Dallas goes up 2-0 here in the first two games. So yeah, like I said, I'm glad Avs fans, and I hope the Avs feel the same way, or just feeling so good about this because we beat the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets would have been beaten in 7 by the Washington Capitals. Let's just call a spade a spade.
I was not worried.
Dallas has been tested. Dallas just played last night. Colorado hasn't played for a while, so I'm excited. So, anyways, we're dragging it on now. We'll see if we're still friends in 2 weeks, I guess, eh? We'll be back 2 weeks. We'll talk about the conference finals, the semifinals that were, break everything down. And then from there we'll have Stanley Cup. Then we're gonna do a draft show, I think we talked about. And then obviously free agency. We gotta get ramped up for free agency there soon after, which is gonna be exciting. It's gonna be an exciting time. So a lot of fun stuff still to come. We're just getting started here. Chip and Chase podcast. Soon to be something different possibly. Stay tuned for that.
Episode 2
in the books. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.